But I can tell you the benefits of watching it there. Are you ready? Here they are. Better picture quality, better sound quality. But what do you lose, Bob? That's what you're asking. Well, I'll tell you. You're over on YouTube Live. You're clearly not in Blab. So you can't have the whole Blab experience, So we don't know where this is going to go, with the technology. And of course, as the offers keep pouring in for moving this from Blab to networks and things like that, the format of the show, will it be, how interactive will it be? It may end up being more like just a YouTube Live streaming thing with some chat on the side, or we keep it in a platform like Blab, so it's completely interactive. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I say to you, you have no idea, none, how I've suffered over this particular episode of this show. Hi, Beauty Bubble. I'm so glad you're here. And I'm so sorry that I'm not acknowledging you guys better as you're walking into the room. I don't have my screen configured very well to access all of my controls and see what you're saying. So let me see if this is something I need to get a handle on. See, if I move it over too much, I lose you completely. All right. Anywho, nice to have both of you here. But here's the thing. Man, you have no idea what a head trip this whole week has been since the show I did last week, which was, of course, the premiere. And if you'll remember, at the end of that show, I said something along the lines of, well, or right after the show, well, I'm going to do another one. I'm going to schedule it this week, to keep it going. And I didn't do it. And one of the things that happened is I listened back to it. And despite the obvious problem we had at the beginning with the echo, which was maddening, of course, but we worked that out. Then as I listened back, the whole thing with uke time was messed up. You were supposed to be hearing harmonies and reverb and all this beautiful stuff, and you just heard me off. I don't even know what microphone you were hearing it from. So somehow I let that bug me a little bit. I don't know why, but I did, and it kind of stopped me from doing the show. Anyway, so look, and here's the other thing. Like, there's this whole thing that goes on in my head about doing this show, like this significance that I put on it. And actually, I'm going to, can't believe I'm doing this, but so the thing that's been going on in my head before I do a show is it's like stopping me. It's really stopping me. And the show is something I really want to do. And I've clearly got this thing going on in my head. So I'm actually am going to bring in on the conversation here, for lack of a better, basically he's a therapist, my therapist. And I think everybody should have somebody to talk to about their stuff or whatever. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We live such fragmented lives and so on. Anyway, I've just found it helpful. And he's also generally very cooperative about, sharing himself and his ability, his expertise. And I also think that this whole thing about getting all worked up about shows and it being perfect is not something that's just me, right? It's lots of people. So we're going to talk to him in just a moment. I'm looking at my Blab over here. It looks like it's freezing, but I thought that last time. Anyway, but one of the things I was thinking as I was back there, because you see, the weird thing is I will sit here and practice the show. I'll go through the whole motion. I'll sit here and have my guests and play my music and do the whole thing and not be broadcasting it. And then right afterward, I go, why didn't I just push play? So then it's like, well, it's got to be because the live people factor, right? So then I had this sort of aha moment a little while ago. It's like, well, look, Bob. Do you enjoy doing it when you know no one's listening because you haven't even started broadcasting? And the answer, of course, is yes. So then why does it matter if anyone's listening once you've hit broadcast? They're either watching or they're not. And if they want to play, they want to play, and you get to put that into the show. And if they're not there and they don't want to play or they're just watching, they don't want to play, you just do your thing anyway because you're going to do it regardless because it's fun. And I said to myself, that makes a lot of sense. And then I said back to myself, I know, I'm very, very insightful. And then I say right back, maybe you should go into coaching or something, personal development. And then I say, well, I've been doing that for a long time. And actually, I'm trying to go more into the broadcasting. I'm thinking, well, why would you give that? And then I just go into this conversation with myself and it just spirals, as you can see. Hi, Alfredo Tigolo. You are both the guests and the viewers. Eventually, you'll be more of the guests, for sure. Okay, so, but here's the thing. My whole point is I want to get more consistent with with doing these shows. So I want to get over this whole thing about, I don't know, whatever's going on in my head. So I wanted to bring in Dr. Stevenson. It's Barry Stevenson. He's this therapist I've been seeing for ever since I moved to LA. I think that's the problem. Anyway, I just wanted to let him help me have a conversation with you. Dr. Stevenson, I think, are you there? I'm here, Bob. It is good to be here. Okay, great. So look, Dr. Stevenson, you and I have talked on several occasions about this anxiety that I have around doing the show. Yes, in fact, I'm getting a little tired of hearing about it, and I hope we can make some progress today. I do too. I forgot to tell everybody that he's got a little bit of an attitude. It's kind of why I appreciate going to see him. Anyway, so look, all afternoon I've been thinking about doing this show. I've had this couple of hours of window, and I've sat down and I've practiced it, and I've done the whole thing. I've watched you via satellite. I've watched you do the whole thing. Right, and so why don't I do it? That's the whole thing. Clearly, you are dealing with some sort of a fear of commitment. A fear of commitment. Fear of commitment. You don't want to push the play button when there's people there because you've got some sort of fear of the commitment that you're making with doing the show. It doesn't... Okay, hold on. I've learned over the course of time to not just argue and listen. So I guess it's kind of a commitment. Yeah, when I push the play, because I guess I know when I'm not actually broadcasting, I can stop it at any time. Right. And you could do it, you could stop it at any time when you are broadcasting too, by the way. There's no contractual obligation you have to continue doing anything. This is something you have put on yourself. Again, yes, but I'm trying to treat this, fairly seriously. If you were truly serious about it, I would think that you would do it more often and not worry so much about things. I am serious about it. It's just, I've got, like, even just now, knowing that we are actually broadcasting and having this level of conversation, I've got nerves going. I'm just like, are we really doing this? Are we really doing this on the show? Well, apparently we are really doing it. I see people leaving comments. So yes, this seems to be a real thing. Do you want to make some progress on it today, or do you want to just keep talking about what it is? I would like to make some progress on it today, please. I guess I feel like it's got to be something really simple, and it's probably just about just jumping in and really just doing it. Yes, that's part of it, but you won't do it until you get past the other thing. How often do you really think about why you do this show? Why I do it? Yes, why do you do this show? Because it is fun. Number one, it's fun. Whether people are watching or not, I know that it's fun, so that's pretty much why I do it. So you make a decision from time to time to prevent yourself from having fun for some reason, for some unknown reason. I'm not really thinking about it like that. Why are you struggling with this? You know what I really think it is? I think I've made this really significant, and somehow I've added way too much meaning to every broadcast, like every single one's do or die, and like it makes a difference. And so you need it to be perfect or reach one of your expectations. I don't really need it to, but there's some conversation going on in my head that says I need it to. What if just for today, for example, you let go of that completely and just did the show as if no one was watching, but you could check in from time to time and take comments and see if someone wants to, whatever you want to do. Why don't you just do it however you want to do it, just for today? Okay, so that is confronting because I know that a lot of times, especially with uke time, like I feel like whenever I go to uke time, what I have to do is perform a song, right? Like, and now, ladies and gentlemen, here's what I've been working on at uke time, and here's the song. And instead, a lot of times what I really want to share is just the process of practicing it and just maybe noodling around or whatever. But I'm thinking, well, that's not That's not a show. That's just me watching somebody practice their stuff. And you don't feel like anyone would be interested in that. Well, I'm not 100% sure. And do you need to be 100% sure? I want to be 100% sure. I don't know that I need to be. Yes, noodling. Noodling. When you just kind of pick around on an instrument. All right. Am I rubbing myself? What am I doing? I don't know. I'm not even aware of it. All right. So basically you're just saying, get over yourself for today. Just treat this like a one-time thing. Just have fun with it. That's exactly what I'm saying. You're perfectly capable of doing it. So just do it. All right, Dr. Barry Stevenson, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for indulging me there. You know what I forgot to do, and I'm going to do this now, and you could do it too if you wanted to, and it's the whole sharing the live broadcast thing. So I'm going to do that. Jumping back on the horse is what I'm saying here, seeing as how it's been a week. And I think I've just done it. We'll see. Yes, so in fact, all week long I was thinking about calling this the horse episode, as in jumping back on the after last time. What are you all talking about in there? All right, so look, I'm not going to do a uke time today. I'm not. In fact, this is going to be, ladies and gentlemen, the English language. This was truly, this getting on here, talking to Dr. Stevenson, and I'm going to do an aptacular here in just a second, was really, I needed to do it. Like I needed to not wait another day to get back in here to broadcast again. No matter what I did, no matter who showed up or didn't show up, whether I brought people on or not, whether I did uke time, whether I did anything in particular, I had to hit broadcast. I had to do it. But just here's the thing. Luckily, all of these broadcasts are recorded. I send them up to YouTube and the bobdoyleshow.com, bobdoyleshow.com. You can download them, as you should. Because one day, the value of these early recordings, when they're having the whole Kennedy Awards or whatever that is, and I'm wearing the thing and it's the Bob Doyle show, the celebration that's going to be happening. And they're going to be going back retrospectively and looking at the early shows, right? The early shows. And they'll be showing clips of this show and another show. And that's what's going to make a lot of you absolute stars, 20 years from now, 20, 25 years, whenever they have that celebration. And you guys are in the first videos of the first, couple of shows, which will, of course, gone lost for a while, right? And then they'll be dug up, and it's like, we just found the first 5 Bob Doyle shows. And what will be remarkable, and when I say remarkable, I mean that people will be remarking this at that award show. Something along the lines of, wow, you'd think in 25 years he'd change something. But no, it was just this for 25 years. And of course, we all know, as we look into our crystal ball, where this all goes. And of course we all did, because each one of you who participates, your name's up in lights right here. Thank you, Beauty Bubble. I'm changed because of your change. See? It's already this deep symbiotic relationship I have with the viewers. It's a magical thing. So anyway, so all of you, who are here, they'll be looking for you. Alfredo, they'll be looking for you. Beauty Bubble, what's your real name? We got to find it. We have to have an interview. There's got to be a reunion. It's the 10,000th show. We need to get the whole gang together from the early days. It'll be that. So mark your calendars, is all I'm saying. For 30 years from now or something like that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Aptacular. The show where I share an app that I think is spectacular and deserves your attention. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today I've chosen an app that is old. That's right, it was probably one of the first apps I ever got. Well, that's not exactly true. I'd say within the first year or so. Okay, and it's an image app. It's a something to do with your pictures app, which are some of my faves. So, it's called. Let me just bring it to you now. See, it's called Phototropodelic. Now, it came up here on the image that I did as a test before this show, but this is kind of the result that you'll get from an image. And when I did post these several years ago on Facebook, they got a lot of response because it's very different and kind of cool. So I'm going to show you how it works right now. And watch, it'll be one of these that's no longer in the App Store. So you start by either loading in an image or taking a picture. And that's what I'm going to do right now to make this live and interactive. So I'm hitting the open button down there, and I'm going to say photo from camera. No, not that's opposite. Take a snapshot. That's the terminology I'm looking for. And so how about this? All right, that's the one we'll use. Classic. All right, use photo there. And then I click on run photo. And what it'll do is it'll run this effect on this photo based on the settings it last had. So I'm going to do that. And now you got to actually watch that be drawn. Okay, so let's talk about how you can change it. You go first. I'm kidding, because I have to talk. Okay, so now I'm going to the settings. So you can change the level of detail, the color palette that it uses, and then all the little squiggles and designs and things like that you can adjust as well. So let's just, for example, we'll leave everything the same except that I'll put the detail level up to 5, up from 2, and then I'll run same photo again. So just, more lines, a little more detail, right? So it's your taste. All right, so let me change that. So that color palette, as you can see, is tropodelic. You can also have it choose the customize, colors from the image itself. So if I do that, I'll show you what happens. So see, it's taking from the images that were dominant in the photo already and making it that way. I like the phototropodelic, don't you? I think so too. It's way more groovy. All right, and then, you see little stars and things like that. We can zoom in and see little stars here. Now I have to zoom out so I can get my controls back. Come on. Here we go. Okay, and you can turn the circles on, circles off, rays on, rays off, how many stars, all of that. All these little things you can play with. And I will just run the same photo again and see what happens there, because now there's the rays in the background and all that. So it just adjust it. And ladies and gentlemen, these big, delightful, and adorable Facebook profile pictures are sure to get comments and likes and lots of questions about, hey, man, where'd you get that app? Okay. All right, well, that was Apptacular for this week. Phototropodelic. I know it's kind of a weird word. I probably should have written it down somewhere. Maybe I can type it into the... Yeah, do you have the link in the box? Do you have that? Because I don't. Look at that. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Bubble Beauty has come to the rescue. The audience is fickle. So... I want you to listen to this. This is obviously a sound effect of laughter. Listen how creepy. What is with that one person? All right, well, anyway, it creeps me out. All right, well, look. No, I didn't like that either. I think it's horrifying. It's the most scary, frightening, non-funny laugh I've ever heard in my entire life. And I won't subject you to it again unless I do for some reason, which is entirely possible. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think what I'm going to do now is bid you a fond adieu, because I have to go to a gala tonight, or a gala, or a gala. I don't know what it is, because you know what the thing about that word is? I'm uncomfortable with it regardless of how you say it. You can't say it and not sound either pretentious or just, I don't know, festive. Why can't they just call it an event or a party or a whatever? What makes it a gala? Does anyone know? When does it go from a big dinner thing with an award ceremony to a gala? Is there a certain number of people that have to show up? Is the ticket price have to be a certain amount? Does the venue have to cost a certain amount? Do you have to wear a certain type of clothing? Are there certain type of decorations that you have to have? Do you have to have a celebrity MC to make it a gala? I don't know. 50 years old. I should know these things. What makes a gala? I'm going to look that up. Whatmakesagala.com. All right. So when is my next event? Tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm actually speaking at an event called Enlightened Up, run by Craig Shoemaker, the famous comedian. And I will be speaking tomorrow about, the talk is called Clicking In, and it's about creating an unwavering commitment to yourself that you will not break. It's like resolutions or whatever on Supercharge where you will never, ever go back. So that's what I'm talking about tomorrow, but it's a little late, I guess, for you to get involved in that one, if that's what you were even talking about. An event where I might go speak or something like that. All right, so I guess what I'm trying to say is this has been the Bob Doyle Show, and it's been my pleasure to have you here. And I hope that you'll join me again next time, whenever that is. And I hope that it's pretty soon and not so long between shows. I mean, all these people did this rehearsal for this dance. I should at least do the show for which they rehearsed. This woman in particular deserves our time and attention.